Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. July begins with a burst of energy in one of the most enjoyable areas of your chart. On July 4th, Mars conjunct Uranus activates your fifth house of romance, creativity, self-expression, children, and the things that brings you joy. This transit can be exciting, unpredictable, and difficult to ignore. A romantic situation may develop very quickly. A creative area could appear out of nowhere. Some of you may feel a stronger desire to take risks, but put yourself out there or pursue something you've been thinking about for a long time. At the same time, Mars and Uranus can create impulsive energy, so try not to rush into decisions simply because something feels exciting in the moment. The opportunities that arrive now have potential, but they don't need to be forced. On July 7th, Neptune stations retrograde in your third house of communication, learning, mindset, and everyday interactions. Over the next several months, you may begin paying closer attention to how you communicate and the stories you tell yourself. Some Aquarians may realize they've been overlooking important information. Others may find themselves questioning assumptions they've been carried for years. Neptune retrograde can also bring clarity around conversations, relationships with siblings, learning projects, or situations where communication has felt confusing. The more willing you are to question all the narratives, the more useful this transit becomes. July 10th brings Venus conjunct the South Node in your 8th house of shared finance, trust, intimacy, and emotional vulnerability. A financial agreement or emotional pattern may be ready to release. For some of you, this could involve letting go of a fear connected to trust or dependence to others. For others, it may be about reevaluating a financial situation that no longer feels balanced. Pay attention to what feels complete around this time. Something may be living your life to create space for a healthier dynamic moving forward. On July 12th, Mercury Cazime activates your sixth house of work, health, routines, and daily responsibilities. This is one of the most productive days of the month. A work-related conversation may provide clarity. A situation to a problem could suddenly appear. You may also gain insight into a habit, routine, or health matter that deserves more attention. If you've been trying to improve your schedule, organization, or productivity, this is an excellent time to make adjustments. The following day, Venus squares Uranus. A financial matter, emotional issue, or relationship dynamic may temporary clash with your desire for freedom and self-expression. Try not to overreact if something unexpected happens around July 13th. Often this transit simply highlights an imbalance that needs attention. The new moon in Cancer on July 14th activates your sixth house and begins a new chapter involving work, health, routines, and daily life. This is an excellent new moon for creating healthier habits, improving your schedule, launching a new project, or becoming more intentional about how you spend your time and energy. July 20th brings one of the most important transits of the month as Jupiter in Leo opposites Pluto in Aquarius. This is a major moment because Pluto is currently moving through your sign. For Aquarius, this activates the relationship axis of the chart, bringing focus into the balance between your own growth and the needs of important people in your life. A relationship may be evolving, because you are evolving. You may realize that certain dynamics no longer fit the person you are becoming, or that a partnership needs to grow in order to support the next chapter of your life. This transit isn't about choosing yourself or choosing someone else. It's about finding relationships that allow both people to continue growing. On July 23rd, Mercury stations direct in your sixth house. Work projects begin moving forward again. Daily routines become easier to manage, and health-related decision may feel much clearer. Then we arrive at July 26th, which is one of the most significant dates of the year for Aquarius. Saturn stations retrograde in your third house, encouraging a review of your mindset, communication style, learning process, and the way you approach information. The month ends with the full moon in Aquarius conjunct Pluto on July 29th. This is one of the most important full moons of the year for you. Something personal reaches a turning point. For some Aquarians, this full moon brings a major realization about who they are becoming. For others, it makes the end of a chapter that has been unfolding for years. Whatever comes to light at the end of July has the potential to change the way you see yourself and the direction you are heading moving forward. This is less about what is ending and more about who you are becoming next.